Hello students, good morning everyone. Hope you all are good. So in our today's module, we'll be discussing some of the numerical portion. Fine. See students. So what here the question is 2.8 gram of nitrogen gas was allowed to react with 0.6 gram of hydrogen gas to produce 3.4 gram of ammonia. Fine. So what they are telling us, show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. This is what the question is. Fine. So we need to show whether these observations that we have discussed here, fine, whether they are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass, which states that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. So what they are telling, nitrogen plus hydrogen gives us ammonia. Fine. So what is the mass of the nitrogen? 2.8 gram. Just write it here simply, 2.8 gram. What will be of the hydrogen? 0.6. Simply write it as 0.6. Fine students. And ammonia, it is 3.4 gram. So you all can see here 2.8 gram plus 0.6 comes out to be 3.4 gram, and here also it is 3.4 gram. So the mass of the reactant side, or on the reactant side, that is on your LHS left hand side, nitrogen plus hydrogen come out to be 3.4 gram, and mass of the product, that is ammonia, is also 3.4 gram. Fine. So we can actually say that the above observation, they are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. This is what we have already discussed these things. Now students, coming on to the second question, what they are telling here, that magnesium and oxygen combine in ratio 3:2, fine, by mass to form magnesium oxide. So what mass of oxygen gas will be required to react completely with 24 gram of magnesium? Fine. What they are asking? They are asking the mass of oxygen gas that will be required to react completely with 24 gram of magnesium. So simply write down the equation here. See, magnesium, that is magnesium plus oxygen gives you magnesium oxide, that is MgO. Fine. So I would like to erase it, all these things for you now. See now. What is the mass of the, in which ratio oxygen, this magnesium and oxygen are present? 3:2. Simply do it, 3 plus 2. Fine. So we can say that 3 gram of magnesium reacts with oxygen, that is equals to 2 gram. This is what the situation is here. Fine. 3:2 ratio, na bache, they are present in 3:2 ratio. Okay. 3 gram where the mass of the magnesium is 3 and the oxygen is 2. So 3 gram of magnesium react with oxygen is equals to 2 gram. But we need to find out the 24 gram of magnesium. So 24 gram of magnesium react with oxygen. The answer would be 2 divided by 3. That is the this oxygen mass. Fine. Oxygen is, sorry, the magnesium is 3. Fine. So we need to take the the mass of the oxygen divided by the mass of the magnesium into 24. Why? Because we need to find out the 24 gram of magnesium. Fine. So 3 1s are 3, 3 8s are 24. Simply multiply these two, we get the answer 16. Fine. I hope this thing is clear. Now moving on to the next one. What they are telling, you all can see here. See, in a reaction 4.2 gram of sodium carbonate were reacted with 10 gram of ethanoic acid solution. The product were 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide and 12 gram of sodium ethanoate solution. So what they are telling us, we need to show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. Earlier also we have done the same question, only the compounds were different. So here sodium carbonate plus ethanoic acid solution, these are the reactants. They will be reacting together to give the product, that is sodium ethanoate solution and carbon dioxide. Fine. So the total mass on the reactant side will be mass of the sodium carbonate plus ethanoic acid solution. That is come out to be 4.2 plus 10 gram. That is given in the question only. fine, and the result to be 14.2 gram. Next, what they are telling, we need to find out the total mass of the product, bache. Fine, that will be equal to the, you all can see here in the chemical equation, sodium ethanoate solution plus carbon dioxide. Fine, and in the question, the mass of both the products are given, so 12 gram plus 2.2 gram, and your answer would be 14.2 gram. So you all can see here, mass of product is equal to the mass of reactant, that is 14.2 gram. Fine, so we can say that no change in mass takes place as a result of the given reaction. So this means these are the observations which are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. Now students, next what they are telling us, that hydrogen, that is H, and oxygen, that is O2, combine in the ratio 1:8 to form the water. So what weight of oxygen gas would be required to react completely with 3 gram of hydrogen gas? Very easy question. See, so as hydrogen and oxygen combine in the ratio 1:8 by mass, this means 1 gram of hydrogen, fine, combined with the 8 gram of oxygen. This is what it means. So, but we need to find out for 3 gram of hydrogen gas. So, which simply multiply it by 3, fine. So, 8 gram is of oxygen, fine, we need to multiply it by 3. The answer would be 24 gram. This is what the question is. What weight of oxygen gas would be required? Fine. So, to react completely with 3 gram of hydrogen gas. So, we need to multiply this 3 with oxygen mass. And oxygen mass is 8 gram. Fine. Simply multiply it with that and the answer would be 24 gram. Next students, next question is 0.24 gram sample of a compound of oxygen and boron was found by analysis to contain 0.096 gram of boron and 0.144 gram of oxygen. So we need to calculate the percentage composition. What is the formula for the percentage composition? See here. So if you need to find out any of the percentage of any element in a compound, what will be the formula? Mass of the element present divided by mass of the compound into 100. Fine. So in question everything is given. What will be the percentage of boron? And you have to find out the percentage of oxygen as well. So in order to find out the percentage of boron, bache, write down the mass of boron. Fine. That is the element, and mass of the compound into 100. So mass of the boron, it is given 0.096 gram and mass of the compound is 0.24 gram. It is given here. Fine. 0.24. Now students, multiply it by 100. That is what the formula is saying. Your answer would be 40%. Fine. Similarly, we can solve the next as well, that is percentage of oxygen. So the same thing would be here, but only the element will be changed. That is here we are using oxygen and mass of the compound will remain same. Multiply by 100. So what is the mass of the oxygen that is given here? 0.144. Remember, in the question it is given. So you need to write down 0.144 gram divided by 0.24 gram into 100. Your answer would be 60%. Alright, now coming on to the next that we have is the molecule. Fine. We should know what exactly do we mean by this term, that is molecule. I would like to zoom it for you here now. See. The smallest particle of an element or compound which is capable of independent existence and show all the properties of that substance. Fine. So we can say the smallest particle of an element is said to be the molecule. Okay. In general, molecule is a group of 2 or more atoms that are chemically bonded together. Atoms of the same element are of different element can join together to form the molecule. So remember these two lines. Atoms of the same element, either same element or different element, they can join together to form the molecule. Now we have two categories here. We will be discussing only one, that is the molecules of elements. So the molecules of an element contain same type of atoms. Fine. Molecules of many elements, they are made up of only one atom of that element. Example, noble gases like we have argon, helium, etc. And the molecule of most of the non-metals, they are made up of more than one atom. Fine. Example, the molecule of oxygen, it consists of 2 atoms of oxygen. Fine. And it is known as diatomic molecule. Ozone, that is O3, consists of 3 atoms of oxygen and known as triatomic molecule. As it is, you can see tri. Fine. So how many atoms are there? 3. And how many atoms are there in oxygen? 2. So now the most important thing comes, that is atomicity. What is atomicity? In exam this question may come. It is defined as the number of atoms present in a molecule. Fine. Number of atoms present in a molecule. So whatever the molecule is, we need to find out the number of atoms. So on the basis of atomicity, molecules can be classified as monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic and polyatomic. This is what we are going to discuss now. See here. So talking about monoatomic molecule here, you can see they consist of only one atom. Fine. Only one atom is there, that is why it is mono. Fine. And atomic is related with number of atoms. So you all can see here, if there would be one atom, fine, that is the monoatomic molecule. Its atomicity would be 1. For example, helium, neon, argon, xenon, iron, aluminium, etc. They are monoatomic molecules. Similarly, students, talking about the diatomic molecules, fine, you can see here they consist of 2 atoms here. So for example, H2, you can see hydrogen is 2, oxygen is 2, nitrogen is 2, iodine is 2, bromine is 2, fine, chlorine is 2, H and Cl, Na and Cl. So 2 atoms are there. Fine. Now students, coming on to the triatomic molecule, which will be consisting of 3 atoms here. So you can see oxygen is 3, then we have here carbon and oxygen is 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, nitrogen is 1, oxygen is 2, 2 plus 1 again 3. Next we have is tetraatomic molecule. Fine. So tetra means they consist of 4 atoms like P4, H2 and O2. So 2 plus 2 becomes 4. Similarly, students, we have polyatomic molecules. They consist of more than 4 atoms like CH4, fine, 4 plus 1 5, then S8, etc. Now atomicity of some known metals, like you can see argon is monoatomic, chlorine is diatomic, helium is also monoatomic, oxygen is diatomic as it is O2, helium is He, hydrogen is diatomic, fine, it is H2, nitrogen is also diatomic, ozone is triatomic as it is O3, phosphorus I have told you it is P4 tetraatomic, sulfur is polyatomic or it may be S8, that is octatomic. Fine. So I hope this thing is clear, students.